Hello dear student, today's topic is duct and duct design in air conditioning. In this session we will discuss about the function of duct, classification of duct, economic factors of duct and duct design methods. These topics will cover during this session. Here the contents of this session: function of duct, classification of duct, economic factors influencing duct layout, duct design method, requirement of air distribution system into the air conditioning system. Now we have come to function of duct. The function of duct is to transmit air from the air handling apparatus to the space to be air conditioned. It means the use of duct is there to transfer the air from air conditioning apparatus to the refrigerated places where we need to cool. So duct is used to transmit the cold air to the refrigerated space from the air conditioning apparatus. Second point is here: to fulfill the above function, the system must be designed within the prescribed limits of allowable space, friction loss, velocity, sound level and heat losses. Third point is here: duct system are also used to bring cold air to the proper distribution points where several rooms are to be conditioned. It means when we are using a central air conditioning system and we want to distribute the air in number of rooms, then we also use a duct. After the function of duct, here we have come to the classification of duct. Here, according to velocity of air, this is classified two types. One is low velocity duct and second one is high velocity duct. According to pressure in the duct, this is classified three types. One is low pressure duct, second one is medium pressure duct, third one is high pressure duct. And also here classified according to types of air, that is classified three types. First, supply air duct, second, return air duct, third, fresh air duct. Now we have come to economic factors influencing duct layout. Here, first one is here: heat gain or loss from the duct. The heat gain or loss in the supply and return duct system is considerable. This occurs due to the duct passing through the unconditioned spaces. It means when duct passes through the unconditioned space, then their heat may be transferred to the environment or heat transfer from environment to the duct. That will be considered when we design a duct. The allowance must be made for duct heat loss or heat gain in load. This is the second parameter, influencing parameter for economic factors. Here, aspect ratio of the duct. Aspect ratio is defined as the ratio of larger side of the rectangular duct to the shorter side of rectangular duct. Mathematically it can be written here A divided by B. It means here we have taken rectangular cross section of a duct in which the larger side is here, that is A, and smaller size is here, that is B. Then we get aspect ratio is here A divided by B. This ratio is an important factor to be considered in the initial design of duct. This is the third parameter which influences the design of duct. If duct friction rate is higher will be the size and aspect ratio. This will be increase the initial and running cost. It means when aspect ratio is high, when friction will be high inside the duct, then the running cost and initial cost of the air conditioning equipment and duct both will be increased. Here this is the fourth parameter, types of fitting, which is considered when we are going to design of duct. In this, here first point is the fitting can be divided into class A and class B. It is desirable to use fittings of class A as fabrication costs of class A is 1 by 2.5 to that of class B. Now we have come to the duct design methods. There are mainly three methods which are commonly used for duct design. First one is here velocity reduction method. Second is equal friction loss method. Third, static regain method. This is the first method to design the duct, here velocity reduction method. In this method, the duct designed in such a way that the velocity decreases as flow proceeds. Second point is here the pressure drops are calculated for this velocities for respective branches of duct and main duct. The duct size are determined for assumed velocities and known quantities of air to be supplied through the respective ducts. Now the second method is here to design the duct, equal friction loss method. In this method, the frictional pressure drop per unit length of duct is maintained constant throughout the duct system. It means in this case, this is designed on the basis of equal pressure drop per unit length. The procedure is to be selected a suitable velocity in the main duct from the sound level consideration. Knowing the airflow rate and the velocity in the main duct, the size and friction loss are determined from the friction chart. This is the third method to design the duct, that is static regain method. For the perfect balancing of the duct layout, here this is layout system, the pressure at all outlets must be made same. This can be done by equalizing the pressure loss in various branches. This is possible if the friction loss in each run is made equal to the pressure gain due to reduction in velocity. Here is the advantage of this static regain method to design the duct. Here it is possible to design long run as well as short run for complete regain. It is sufficient to design the main duct for air conditioning system. Now we have come to the requirement of air distribution system. Here first is there should be enough entertainment of room air with the supply air so that upon reaching the occupied zone the air stream attains desired temperature. Second point is here the temperature throughout the occupied zone of the room should be within plus minus 1 degree Celsius of the design temperature. Third point, only minor horizontal or vertical temperature variations should be there in occupied zone. It means using duct we can distribute the air throughout the air. At a time in the room there is no temperature difference, there only temperature difference occurs vertically, very minor values. Here fourth point is noise level should be below the objectionable level, means that is negligible. Fifth point is here effect of natural convection and radiation within the room should be minimum. Now class is over. Thank you for listening.